What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about why you suck at catching the football and some ways that you could fix these bad habits. So these are the most common reasons that wide receivers will drop passes, and these are some of the most easy ways you could fix those dropped passes. Now, first reason wide receivers will drop easy passes, that ball goes right through the middle of their hands. So if you're that guy that struggles, especially over the middle, quarterback puts some heat on it, and it seems like it just goes right through the middle of your hands, chances are the reason why you're dropping that is because you have too wide of a gap between your hands. So everybody talks about like, oh, wide receivers need to have that like diamond, if you will. That's pretty decent advice, to be 100% honest with you, especially for you younger guys. If you have your thumb and your index touching, I don't feel like that's the best spot to be because I feel like that's a little uncomfortable. You should have just a slight gap. It should not be a big gap though. You want your fingers as close together as possible without them touching, so you're nice and relaxed and you could receive that ball and not have it go through the middle of your hand. So if it's shooting through your hands, guys, just close that gap down and try to touch that index and that thumb together. Now, fellas, before we get into the rest of these reasons that you drop passes and are bad at catching, if you're a wide receiver and you'd like to train with myself and my staff of coaches, we are going to be traveling out to 5 more cities this off-season for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camp. So, guys, if you want to sign up, go to that very first link in the description below. Our next camp is going to be in Houston, Texas. Then after that, we will be coming out to Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, and finishing off our camp tour in Los Angeles, California. So, guys, our Houston, Texas camp and Columbus camp are completely sold out, but we have availability in Boston, Boise, and Los Angeles. So, guys, if you'd like to sign up for those 3 camps, go to that very first link in the description below. If you've been putting it off, our camps will sell out within the next week, and we will not have availability in any more camps. So, guys, make sure you take action fast. Very first link in that description below. We'd love to see you there. Now, the next reason that wide receivers most likely drop passes is the ball bounces off of their hands. So if you've been told that you don't have soft hands and you have like brick hands, if you will, that means when that ball is thrown, it's hitting your palms, and it's almost like it bounces away from you when you try to catch the ball. So, easy way to fix that, you guys, is by focusing on catching the ball in something I call the webbing of your hand. What do I mean by the webbing of your hand? I mean the area, so not your fingertips, because that's how you would jam your fingers. If you're trying to catch the ball on the fingertips, probably the best way to jam your finger. You stay in that area between your palm right here and your fingertips. I call that the webbing. That is that soft hand catch, if you will. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard like an NFL receiver or a college, like top tier college receiver catch a pass. You can barely even hear it. That's because they're in that webbing. Now, some of you might feel a little uncomfortable with that. Some of you might feel like your hands are like too weak to be able to do that. The best way to kind of fix that and get over that is to strengthen your grip. So doing any type of grip strengthening exercise will help you. So fingertip push-ups, hanging from a pull-up bar. One that I like is getting one of those like grip squeeze tools, or maybe you hold 2 heavy dumbbells and you walk with them. We call that farmer's carry. Any grip strengthening exercise will help you focus on catching that ball in the webbing of your hand and get that quote-unquote soft hands. Now, for this next reason, we're going to give you guys actually a drill to fix this, but the main reason is guys taking off too early before they like secure the catch. So like, let's say for example, I'm running just like a post drop, bam, I break, ball's coming right off, I see the ball, I'm tracking the ball, I'm bam, and then I'm looking upfield and then I drop that thing. So I'm not saying that like in a real game, in practice you should be this guy because you're trying to rep out a skill to make it faster for a live game situation. But in a real game, it's a little like naive of me to say like, okay, catch it, look it to the tuck, then get upfield. You're gonna get your head taken off, you guys, because you gotta get upfield and you gotta do it quick. But in practice, when there's nobody around, you absolutely should be focused on that. So in a game, it could be lightning speed. But when that ball's thrown to us, fellas, we gotta look that thing into the tuck, okay? And the drill that I'm gonna give you guys will make sure that you do that. But so, like again, we do it in practice. So in a game when things are moving fast, it could just be quick, I'm out. And we could barely, it doesn't take us that much time. It's like learning a skill at any time. If I'm teaching a quarterback how to throw, I'm not teaching him like, I don't expect him to be just freaking whip, get it out of his hands right away. Like it takes time to build the throwing motion, just like it takes time to build any skill. So in practice, looking it in and practicing looking it in will make it much easier come game time. Now, what's the drill to work on that? So the drill is I call the laces or spaces drill. So I used to do this when I coached high school receivers. We do this every single practice, and I prided myself on my wide receivers not dropping a lot of passes. So what we'd have them do is I'd have them just like stand, they'd maybe run a little bit, do over the shoulder, but every single rep, they had to yell to me whether they saw laces or no laces. So I'd throw them a ball, they tuck it away. If they saw this, no laces. They saw this, laces, or you could say spaces if you don't see that. But having to verbally call it out holds you accountable to look for something on the ball when you tuck it away. And that's the best way to practice looking the ball the way in and not taking off a little bit too early. Now, this next reason is probably, like, I would say 95% of all drops for wide receivers is them not looking it in fully when the ball makes contact with their hands. They struggle tracking it. They struggle just honestly just like securing the ball. So you have to have that like moment of just like clarity where you're not thinking about anything when that ball is thrown to you except focusing on maybe the white stripe of the ball, or an analogy I like to say called taking a photo of the ball. So I feel like a lot of receivers, they think they're tracking the ball, but they're really not. Ball is thrown to them and they see it hit their hands, but it's like the football and then the turf over here. It's like half and half. The only thing in your line of vision should be the football. You are trying to take a full-size like portrait photo of the football. That's when I say take a photo of the ball with your eyes. Pretend your eyes are a camera, bam. The only thing in this portrait is the football, and that's how you can secure it. Now, some guys, that analogy doesn't click for them. So another thing that I'll say is focus on the white stripe of the ball. So that ball's thrown in the air. If I'm looking at the white stripe, I'm looking at something, and if I can see that white stripe hit my hands, especially on over-the-shoulder passes, especially on bullet passes, that helps me have that moment of clarity where I'm focused in on something on the ball or the ball to help me be more consistent. So if you focus on those two analogies, you guys, I swear to you, 95% of your drops, because I swear, for most of the receivers that I work with, when they're dropping the ball, that analogy fixes everything.